Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily News. I'm Nicholas Richardson. France is changing its direction and has put its faith in the right. Marine Le Pen's political party won in the first round of the snap elections. People are fed up with illegal migration, declining security and high prices, all of which are funded by the current government. This is a spectacular defeat for Emmanuel Macron, but the future of France will be decided by the second round of the elections. How might they go? As soon as it became clear that the Marine Le Pen front had won, violent immigrants took to the streets of French cities. The victory of the right wing is the end of their privileges. We have come to this decision. We want new political leaders to represent us. From now on, the country should develop in the right direction. The fight against illegal migration was the #1 topic of this election campaign. Visitors from the Middle East and North Africa were allowed into France en masse, not only destroying beautiful French cities, but also draining the economy. French society is fed up with mass immigration, fed up with mass importation of labour migrants from Muslim countries, fed up with letting in illegal immigrants and all sorts of privileges for them, such as free healthcare, fed up with crime, fed up with jihadism. And the French have made this clear at the ballot box. The first round was clearly won by Marine Le Pen's National Unity, with over 33%. A coalition of left-wing parties also scored well with 28%. In third place, and with only 20%, was President Emmanuel Macron's political camp, which is calling for mobilization against the French right. Because in France, unlike in Poland, for example, Parliament is elected in 2 rounds, so the French will go to the polls again on the 7th of July. We will regain real freedom for ordinary people. Until now, those in power have only oppressed them, wanted their compatriots to be weak, ruined their lives. This was the brutal way the French services suppressed protest by the so-called Yellow Vest. Ordinary people fed up with high prices, rising unemployment, illegal migration and declining security. Macron has not understood anything. The Yellow Vest protests have taught him nothing. He treats people badly. He thinks he's a monarch who has the right to punish his subjects. This time it was Emmanuel Macron's compatriots who took matters into their own hands. The scale of the French president's downfall is well shown by this comparison. If the votes of the French were converted into seats in Parliament, Marine Le Pen's party could even govern alone, with at most 100 seats for politicians from Macron's camp. A huge defeat for the incumbent head of state, i.e. President Macron. He threw an early election just to regain support. But after his defeat in the European parliamentary elections, his compatriots once again showed him the red card. Marcin Shevchak, TV Republica. Increases in electricity, gas and heating prices have just come into effect in Poland. We can only watch how expensive energy will translate into further increases in food and fuel prices. The government is proposing an energy grant that will cover only 20% of Polish households. At the same time, the Law and Justice draft law, which was supposed to stop the increases, is still backlogged in the Polish parliament. That's today. The freeze on energy prices at current levels has just expired. Gas and heating are also becoming more expensive. This is another blow to household budgets. Let's remember about food. Let's remember about fuel. More or less 130 zlotys per month are lost because there is no fuel at 5 zloty 19. And now this is the biggest hit since the 1st of July. But in a parallel reality, such a hit is a real pleasure. Poland's Deputy Minister of Climate and Environment argued that Poland's poorest families will earn from the current increases. And this is all thanks to the energy voucher, which will cover roughly 20% of households. Today, with a family of 2 to 3 people, a 2 to 3 person household, just for an energy voucher it is 400 zloty. When it comes to such households that have invested in heat pumps, it is once again that much, 800 zloty. A family of 6, 600 zloty energy voucher, 1200 zloty support if someone has a heat pump. Only the voucher will cover the poorest who cannot afford heat pumps. To admit in these calculations in the jumps in prices of virtually all utilities and to present the issue in this way is to distort reality. This was pointed out by Mr. Dorożal's ally from the New Left.
Mam wrażenie, że nie policzył tego dokładnie, co powiedział.
I have the impression that he didn't count exactly what he said. On the other hand, I don't want to defend him because he should prepare himself for this type of statement. It is inevitable that there will be increases of 30% and more. This comes from the calculations. Perhaps some of the public will get some shielding tools, but on the basis that it will be to reduce the pain of spending more, however, rather than generally showing that these people will earn it.
Z tytułu wydatkowania większych kwot niż generalnie pokazanie, że ci ludzie na tym zarobią.
The government argues that most households will pay about 25 to 30 zloty more on each energy bill. The projected bills, however, show much more than that. The increase in electricity prices will be particularly hard on businesses and will inevitably drive up inflation. This means a self-reinforcing cost spiral that will squeeze our wallets with everyday purchases. And more increases are already on the horizon.
Podwyżki są realne, są faktem. Zostały dokonane.
The increases are real, they are a fact. They were made in two parts because on the 1st of July, so today, energy prices are rising. Then on the 1st of January next year, another increase. So the heating season will affect Polish households very badly.
Dotknie bardzo mocno polskie gospodarstwa domowe.
Next year, as of the 1st of January, energy prices will be 50% higher than they were as recently as June of this year. Law and Justice is warning. Jarosław Kaczynski's party has prepared a civic bill to stop the hikes, with more than 140,000 Poles signing it. Unfortunately, due to the decision of Speaker Szymon Hołownia, the Sejm has not yet addressed this bill.
Gdyby ten projekt wszedł w życie.
If this bill were to enter into force, not only would there be no increases this year, but above all, there would be no increases in 2025 for millions of Poles in electricity, heat and natural gas prices.
Ciepła oraz gazu ziemnego.
It was already cheap, that's true, but if costs continue to rise at this rate, we will still have time to miss the current prices. Maciej Strug, TV Republica. The clean transportation zone in Warsaw is now a reality. It has covered downtown districts and parts of adjacent neighbourhoods. Other large cities want to follow the capital's example, but such solutions are also a blow to the less well-off. Gasoline cars manufactured before 1997 and diesels from before 2005 will not be allowed to enter the clean transportation zone. As of today, Warsaw has a clean transportation zone. This is the first of its kind in Poland and comes with major inconveniences for drivers. The zone primarily covers the city centre as well as some adjacent neighbourhoods. Gasoline cars manufactured before 1997 and diesels before 2005 will not be allowed to enter the clean transportation zone. I think this is a big mistake by our authorities, that is, Warsaw Mayor Trzaskowski. You gentlemen know very well what is going on. They want communism to come back. It is not possible to replace cars for public transportation as a way of moving around, whether it's to the hospital or the clinic. The clean transportation zone is also an exclusion of the less well-off. First of all, it excludes a certain portion of drivers in terms of owning cars that are older but efficient enough that these CO2 emissions are not so high. I think that there should definitely be an approach to this kind of thing well in advance and some kind of financial support. People permanently or temporarily registered in Warsaw, as well as those who pay taxes in Warsaw, will be exempt from the ban on entering the clean transportation zone. Also seniors, but they will have to meet conditions. Failure to comply with the new regulations will result in a fine of 500 zloty.
Na monitorze wyświetlała się konkretna
The monitor displays a message that this vehicle is excluded from entering the clean transportation zone. Such a vehicle has been inspected, but such inspections have already been carried out by guards in Warsaw today. Anyone who wants may check via the website whether their vehicle will be able to enter the clean transportation zone without any problems. The clean transportation zone is expected to be extended to other major cities such as Kraków, Katowice and Wrocław. Marcin Bakalarski, TV Republica. The World Egg Throwing Championships took place on Sunday in Swayton in Lincolnshire in England. The main event of the day was the egg throwing. Egg throwing, which sees a team of two, the thrower and the catcher, hurl an egg at each other while trying not to break it. The distance initially starts at 33 feet or 10 metres away and increases. This year, three-time world champions Joe Wilson and Brad Greenwood retained their title with a throw that was just over 50 metres.
It's biggest accomplishment of the year so far.
It's all about egg selection. If you get an egg that's too round, you can't use it. You need more of the pointy ones, and it's small and compact, they're a bit more solid. And then you need a nice looping throw.
And soft hands.
And soft hands.
Well, it's ancient sport and art of egg throwing and catching is what the basis of it is. Some people say it's not a real sport, like say javelin throwing. But javelin throwing is not a real sport. I mean, that's just throwing a pointy stick down a field. Nobody's trying to catch it. In this, we're throwing the egg down the field and trying to receive it, unbroken at the far end. Another popular event is the Egg Russian Roulette competition, which saw two contestants at a time smash half a dozen eggs against their heads, hoping
not to find the one raw egg.
Egg roulette is a very, very interesting discipline of the World Egg Throwing Championships. The tension mounts right from the start. Normally every year I'm out in the first round. I think I get cheated. This year I made it through only to be totally destroyed in the second round. People use various tactics. Some believe it's kind of an intuition. Some use the stars. Some just get a feeling. It's potluck.
That's the news. Thank you for watching, and from me, have a good night and a better tomorrow.